This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If your roof starts to leak or your floors really squeak, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segretti. Jim, am I starting to sound a little bit more like myself, or is it still...
You sound a little bit better than last week. The office pool says you're going to make it.
Jim, you're the only other person in the office.
Well, I can't lose then, can I?
Well, I'm glad you feel so positive about my outcome here.
There you go.
All right, guys, what have you been up to? It is the first weekend in December. Holy moly, we're running out of time for all the holiday stuff, and we got a lot going on, so let's get right to it. Are you feeling the chill but not the savings? We're going to share simple ways for you to warm up your home without sending your heating bills through the roof, from sealing those sneaky leaks to setting your thermostat the smart way. And holidays are full of joy, but they're also full of muddy boots and spilled drinks and cookie crumbs. So we're going to share simple ways to protect your floors from winter wear and tear so that your home stays beautiful no matter how many guests come through the door. And are you thinking about your next home project, like a big one? Well, we're going to tell you which upgrades are predicted to be the biggest hits of 2026, from smart energy savings to stylish refreshes that add comfort and value to your home. And we have a great giveaway this hour to get your life organized. Home Zada is a digital home management platform that helps you stay on top of everything under your roof. It's all in one smart, easy-to-use place. You can track your home inventory, manage your maintenance schedules, plan renovation projects, and even see the real cost of owning your home. Zoinks, do I even want to know? All right, well, one lucky Money Pit listener is going to win a year Home Zada premium subscription valued at $99. So give us a call now at 888-MONEY-PIT. Jim, who's up first?
We've got Fred in Delaware, Leslie. How can we help out today, Fred?
I am having built egress walkout up my basement with steps. It's about 5 steps, and it's a double wide, about 72 inches across. And I'm wondering, is it required that I have single handrails or double handrails?
You know, that's a good question, and I'm not actually sure, but generally speaking, as long as you have a handrail in the middle, you're okay. If it's along the wall on opposite sides of it, then I think you probably ought to have 2. But if you're going to put 1 in, you might as well put in 2. This way it's safer for anyone that goes up and down in that space. What you could do is ask a local building inspector, since you're having this built and it's, quite frankly, going to require an inspection, and you want to know that everything's up to code. So it's kind of a minor thing for this building inspector, and it's really good to just get a heads up what they're going to be looking for so that you know you're doing it right. But if you want to be safe, you just put in 2. I don't see any reason not to do that.
Right. And a side question to that is, at the bottom of the staircase there, we have the basic drain.
Okay.
A lot of rain this weekend, and it's backing up.
Well, where does it drain to?
Well, that was a point of contention. I thought they were going to do this to the sump pump, which is inside the house, but they put it to the outside foundation around the foundation.
Okay, but again, where does it drain to? Because if they're dumping that water around the foundation, then you're just putting a lot of water around the house, and you want it to go away. You don't want it to come back in.
Well, they're saying it and I can't tell because it's underground. They say it goes into these soft, plastic, big black pipes, and that goes around and comes back to and connects with a sump pump inside. They said that, but when I tested it and I poured a lot of water on it last week, I didn't see any flow of that water back to my sump pump, so I don't know where it's going.
Oh, so they basically made like a curtain drain for you is what they've told you. But if you're not seeing any water go into that sump pump, I mean, that could be a concern. Now, you could do a camera inspection of the drain. It will cost you some money. And the companies that are drain cleaners, they have those cameras. And they're basically like a long snake that you run through. And they can always tell where the top of it is. And they can tell you exactly where it's going, because it does sound like you do have an issue with where that water is going to. And honestly, I'd be worried more about this water, where it's going, than the handrails at that moment. If it's brand new and it's backing up right now, it doesn't sound like it was put together very correctly. And if it's at all physically possible, I would much prefer to see that connected by a solid PVC pipe, not a flexible pipe, but a solid one that goes out to the street or out somewhere where you can see it. They say like out to daylight, so you can actually see where it's going. It's definitely a concern, but I think you just need to get some more info. And I promise you, everything's fixable. It's just a matter of knowing what you're dealing with.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. Good home security is important, no question, but it doesn't have to be expensive and complicated. That's why I'm so happy to be working with Cove. They're an affordable, customizable security system that you can install yourself in about 30 minutes. They include cameras offering live video and audio to your control panel or your phone, and 24/7 professional monitoring for police, fire, and medical emergencies, giving you absolute peace of mind. Now, we installed Cove, and I can't even believe how simple it was to install, but what I love most is that 24/7, somebody is there monitoring to make sure that we're safe, and that's most important for me and my family. And best of all, Cove is affordable, starting at less than $1 a day. So whether you're traveling for the holidays or you're hosting guests, keep your home safe and under control. Go to covesmart.com and use code MONEYPIT for an additional 10% off your first order. It's the easiest holiday decision you'll make. That's covesmart.com, covesmart.com.
Barbara from Rhode Island is on the line, Leslie, and she has some funny noises going on with her toilet. What's going on there?
I have a half bathroom in my upstairs. It consists of the toilet and a small sink. And for the last few months, when we flush the toilet, we get like a bubble sound, and it will flush, but it doesn't take like the paper. We looked in the tank, and it is right up to the level of the water. The chain is right where the flap opens up, and then it will close, and it will fill. So it's kind of like we have to flush it twice in order to actually get the paper to go down.
All right. Well, the fact that you're getting this gurgling sound sounds like a venting issue, like something is obstructed with the venting. And that's where the air goes back into the system. Now, there's a vertical pipe that goes from the back of the plumbing connection up through the roof. And when that's starving for air, you kind of get this gulping sound that happens. So it could be that there's a partial obstruction somewhere in that drain line itself. Have you tried to clear that toilet just to make sure that nothing was in there?
Yes, my husband did take a plunger, and he used it, and it didn't seem to help.
All right, Barbara. Well, it's good that he tried the plunger, but that might not actually work if there's the obstruction. It can happen, it can work like if it's sort of a larger mass, but if something's gotten in there, like maybe a kid's toy or something that's just stuck in the drain in a way that it's not going to sort of plunge in or out, a toilet auger is really the only thing that's going to work. And it's like a 2-foot long toilet snake. And what it does, it actually goes into that trap part of the toilet, which is where most of those obstructions sort of sit. Now, it's a very inexpensive tool. You could buy one at a home center for like $10 or $20. And if you do use that toilet auger, you're definitely going to clean out that entire bowl and the trap that's attached to it, because the trap is just that. It's a narrow portion where the waste has to flow up and over in order to drain out. And if you get waste that builds up in there, it's just not going to happen.
Okay. All right. So we'll try that. And if that doesn't work? You mentioned about the pipe coming out the roof.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, I would contact somebody like a plumber at this point or a drain cleaning service, because you've basically done as much as you possibly can to sort of remedy the situation, but they have other steps that they can be doing as pros.
Well, thank you so much. Hopefully the auger will solve the problem.
All right, well, good luck with that project, and thank you so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. Hey, are you a fan of our podcast? Well, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll be doing a happy dance. Plus, it helps us keep the show going and growing. Just go to moneypit.com/review. Hey guys, do you ever feel like keeping up with your home is a full-time job? From maintenance reminders and project budgets to tracking what you own for insurance, it is a lot to manage, and that's where HomeZada comes in. Now, HomeZada is a digital home management platform that helps you stay on top of everything under your roof, all in one smart, easy-to-use place. You can track your home inventory, manage your maintenance schedule, plan renovation projects, and even see the real cost of owning your home. And now, one lucky Money Pit listener is going to win a 1-year HomeZada premium subscription valued at $99. HomeZada's built-in homeowner AI makes organizing your home faster and easier than ever. No more hours spent uploading or sorting through piles of paperwork. Plus, you've got the peace of mind that comes with knowing your home, your projects, and your finances are all connected and all under control. If you want to give it a try yourself, you can save 20% on a HomeZada premium or deluxe annual subscription with coupon code MONEYPIT at homezada.com. That's homezada.com. Smarter home management simplified. But we've got one lucky listeners winning that premium subscription. So give us a call now at 888-MONEYPIT for help with your home improvement project, plus your chance to win. Jim, who's up?
Let's head out to Texas. Leslie, are you in?
All right, we're on our way to Texas.
Sweet, and it's for Bill, who has a painting question. How can we help with your project, Bill?
I'm remodeling my bathroom, and it had popcorn on the ceiling. I scraped that off. My question now is there a special sealer I need to put on there other than like a Kills primer?
Yeah, Bill, you're exactly right. A primer is what you're going to want, and Kills is a fantastic brand of primer, especially if you've got any uneven surfaces or uneven finishes or even areas of mold or discoloration. That's the type of primer that you're going to want because it's really going to seal everything in. And once that primer is dry, you can go ahead and top it with any latex top coat. You want a good quality sealing paint. You can go with white. Some people go with like a slightly tinted color just to soften up the space, but that's totally up to you.
I've got all that texture off, the popcorn off. Do they make a paint with a texture, a light texture in it now?
Yeah, I mean, textured ceilings in a bathroom space are kind of like the worst idea because you have a lot of moisture in the space, and that textured ceiling, if it's not sort of a stuccoed, stippled surface, is going to be made out of kind of like a fibrous material encased in that paint. And then it kind of gives you the opportunity to have mold growth. And of course, you can't clean it. So it's really a terrible spot for a textured ceiling like that. So if I were you, I would not put any texture back up there. You just got it all off. Prime that ceiling, go for a good quality top coat, and you'll be so very, very happy. And of course, with a ceiling, don't go with any sheen, especially after you've sort of removed all this texture, because you could end up, if you put any kind of a sheen in that paint, you're going to very much notice any of that, difference in texture, height, motion, whatever. You'll see it the second you add like the slightest bit of sheen. But a flat paint, for some reason, makes it so that you can't see any of it.
All right. Very good.
Thanks so much, Bill. Good luck with your project. Well, as the temperature drops, so does our patience for drafty rooms and rising utility bills. But before you crank up that thermostat and brace for another expensive month, take a few minutes to give your home a quick energy checkup. A little attention now can make your home feel cozier and save you real money all winter long. So start by hunting down those drafts. They're going to be your number one culprit for heat loss in most homes. Run your hand around the windows, the doors, the outlets, even the baseboards. If you feel a chill, that is literally money slipping through the cracks. Add weather stripping, add foam gaskets behind those outlet covers, or a simple bead of caulk makes a huge difference. Next, check your heating system's air filters. A dirty filter is going to restrict airflow, and that's going to force your furnace or your heat pump to work overtime. So swap them out every month or two during the heating season. That will keep the air cleaner and the system more efficient. And if you have rooms that seem to never stay warm, try adjusting the dampers or the register on the duct. A small tweak can help balance that heat distribution so you're not roasting in one room and freezing in another. And you can also make some quick upgrades that will pay off right away, like installing a thermal curtain to block the heat loss through the windows. And don't overlook your thermostat. A smart or a programmable thermostat is going to automatically lower your temperature when you're asleep or you're out, and then bring your home back to comfort level before you return. And that alone can save up to 10% a year on the heating costs. Now, the key is not to heat your house more, but to heat it smarter. With a few simple tweaks, you can keep your home comfortable, cozy, and cost-effective all winter long. Time now for more callers. Jim, who's up next?
Kent in Kansas, you've got the Money Pit. What's going on with you today?
I have a vent that seems to maybe be, have some condensation or whatever, but I've got some stains in my bathroom ceiling, and I have tried to spray the ceiling stain to fix it, but it continues to be a problem, and I wonder what do I have to do up in the attic to take care of that? Now, I do have a furnace up in the in the attic area, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think it's associated with a bathroom vent.
Well, typically when you have a ceiling leak that's in a bathroom, it's generally caused by that plumbing vent where it's exiting the roof, because all of your bathrooms are going to have a vent pipe that goes up. It's about a 3-inch wide pipe. It goes from the bathroom and through the roof. And then there's kind of like a rubber boot around the pipe that seals the water out at the roof as it sort of comes out through the roof. But the problem is that rubber boot isn't nearly as durable as the roofing shingles that are around it. So when the sun is beating on it, it starts to break down, and then you're going to end up with a gap around the pipe. And then the water, when it rains, is going to sort of sit on that pipe and work its way down the pipe. And then it's going to drip off or find another route and kind of end up somewhere near your bathroom ceiling. So that's kind of the most common type of bathroom ceiling leak. It wouldn't be the vent fan. That's possible, but it's probably not that. It's more likely this plumbing vent flashing. So if you can, with binoculars, take a look up at that roof. Check out where that pipe is coming through the roof and see if it seems like it's flashed in any way, or maybe that flashing has deteriorated and it's just the pipe. If it's really that flashing or that boot, if you'll call it that, it's really an easy fix. You kind of take off a couple of shingles, you put that new flashing back on, and then you tack those shingles back in place and you're good to go. Now, once that leak has been fixed, then what you would do is you would spray that stain on your ceiling with a little bit of bleach and water solution, let it sit there for a minute, rinse it off, wipe it dry. And you're doing that because you want to kill any sort of mold or organic growth that may have occurred from that water sitting on that surface. And once it's dry, you're going to prime the entire ceiling. You can use oil-based or latex-based primer, and then that's going to seal that stain in, and then you put on whatever top color you want, and that could be just a straight-up latex paint. Is that okay?
Yeah, and the ceiling right in the very center is a small crack. I'm almost afraid to touch it for fear that I'm going to put my finger all the way through it.
All right. Well, if you're afraid to touch it, you need to kind of find out what's going on now and not later. So do poke around a little bit, but just a little bit. If that small crack is in the drywall, it's not a big deal. Just Google plumbing vent flashing. You're going to see exactly what we're talking about. Let's first start with making sure what's happening with this leak and why you're getting water, and then we can get to the rest. So first address that, and let's make sure we're doing the water stopping. And then we'll be here for you, okay? Give us a call anytime at 888-MONEY-PIT.
DSW, Designer Shoe Warehouse, is the one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW has what you need, but more importantly, they have what you didn't even know you wanted. You never know what you'll find at DSW. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
When you walk into a Burlington, you're walking into amazing prices and great gifts. That's main character energy. Because at Burlington, the holiday savings aren't the only things turning heads. Discover quality finds and perfect presents for everyone on your list, even those who are hard to shop for. Toys and jewelry to new beauty brands and styles, these gifts go seamlessly from our stores to under your tree. Seriously, with these savings, why shop anywhere else?
Burlington deals, brands, wow.
You know, when sidewalks and driveways turn slick, a little ice melt can make a big difference, but not all products are created equal. Traditional rock salt or sodium chloride do work well in moderate temperatures, but they can damage the concrete and the plants over time. If you're looking for something gentler, switch over to calcium chloride or magnesium chloride. They're going to work well in colder temps and are safer for the concrete and your pets. Always sprinkle ice melt before the snow or the ice hits to prevent bonding. It's kind of called pre-treating, and go easy when spreading it. More product is not going to melt the ice faster. It just makes more mess and runoff. Now, once everything's melted, sweep up the excess to protect your driveway and your yard and the local waterways. A few smart choices now will help keep your sidewalks safe and your home looking great all winter long. Jim, let's get back to the callers. Who's up?
In South Carolina, Kay is on the line, Leslie, and she needs some help renovating an older home. Ooh, older homes, that's your specialty.
It's our specialty because we live in older homes, Jim.
Tell us about it, Kay.
We have a property that in the neighborhood, it's going through a regentrification. The home hasn't been lived in over 7 years, and I'm trying to troubleshoot what steps do I need to take to start to evaluate where my costs are going to be.
All right. So what you're saying, Kay, is that nobody lives there now. Have the utilities been on? Or has it just been completely vacant, no utilities, water, power, all that kind of stuff?
Completely vacant, no utilities.
All right. Well, with nothing going on there, there's a number of things that you want to do with the house at this stage. And the first thing that you might want to consider doing, especially since nothing's been on, you might want to hire for yourself a home inspector. You want to get a good professional one that's certified, and they can come in and walk the entire property with you and get a good sense of all of the systems. They're going to want to be able to turn things on. They're going to want to make sure that everything is working. So you have to make sure that you're going to be able to do that, because it's a challenge when everything's off. So, we didn't know if the pipes were properly drained before that happened. Is there going to be a big surprise when the water is turned back on or the gas is turned back on? So the inspector might not be able to tell you everything, but considering that this house has been vacant for so long, it might be a good place to start to get a good sense as to where you're going in terms of the big projects. What are the next steps? And then once you kind of know where you're at the beginning of this process, it really is helpful as sort of a beginning phase of things. And then if you know that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, or you want to make changes to the layout, if you're planning a renovation, this is where you'd bring in an architect and kind of help you with that process. And an architect is really great here, because if you are going to be doing a lot of projects or changing the layout or changing things structurally, an architect can really give you the big picture, and then you're going to have a real consistent idea of what that work is that you're going to put into that house. And of course, when you're ready to do the work, you're going to have a sort of set of plans that you can then talk to contractors all on the same terms and get bids for the same type of project. So there's a lot of things that you could be doing at this very early stage. And, a professional home inspector is going to run you about $400. I know the last time I did one for a house I was interested in buying, I think it was just under $400. You can go to the American Society of Home Inspectors website and you'll find somebody who's certified that can help you in your area. And I think that's really a good place to start. So this way you'll have a much better idea of what you're getting involved with. Otherwise, if you kind of just jump into this, you won't know what's happening until you're kind of in the process. And then maybe it's too late. This way you find out early on what it's going to be. But this is exciting. This could be a good, big, fun project.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Well, between muddy boots, dripping coats, and cookie crumbs, your floors take a serious beating this time of year. But with a few smart steps, you can keep them looking great and protect your investment all winter long. So let's start with prevention. Place heavy-duty mats both outside and inside every single entrance. The goal here is to stop the dirt and the grit before it gets tracked in. Outdoor mats should be textured and waterproof to grab the debris, while those indoor mats could be softer to absorb moisture. And bonus tip, make sure those mats are large enough that guests can take at least 2 steps across them before they get to your floor. Now, if you have hardwood, that grit is going to be the enemy. Those tiny particles act like sandpaper, and they can scratch the finish. You want to vacuum or dry mop every couple of days and skip harsh cleaners that can dull the shine. A microfiber mop and a solution of warm water with just a few drops of mild dish soap is actually all you're going to need. Just make sure you wring out your mop thoroughly. Standing water is going to be the quickest way you can ruin that wood floor. Now, tile and vinyl are going to be a little bit more forgiving, but they do still need care. So sweep or vacuum first so that you're not just pushing that grit around, then mop with a neutral cleaner. For tile grout, you want to try mixing baking soda and water into a paste and scrub gently with an old toothbrush to lift stains without damaging that finish. And if you have carpet, now's the time to schedule a deep clean, especially before the holiday guests arrive. Between foot traffic and pets, the carpet fibers will trap more dirt than you think, so a professional cleaning or even just renting a carpet cleaner can revive those fibers and remove the odors that regular vacuuming just can't. And don't forget about protection. Add an area rug in high traffic zones. That can help save your floors, especially by an entryway or under a dining table and in your hallways. It's going to be easier to clean and replace them than the flooring is beneath. And finally, be proactive after gatherings. Wipe up spills as soon as they happen and take 5 minutes at the end of the night to sweep or vacuum those common areas. It's a small effort that pays off big in preventing long-term damage. So whether you're hosting a house full of guests or you're just trying to stay ahead of the mess, a little routine maintenance now will keep your floor shining well past the holidays. All right, time now for some more callers. Jim, who's next?
Redirecting to Georgia, Leslie, we've got Tamara on the line. She got a rust problem. What kind of rust do you have going on, Tamara?
I was having some work done inside my house. I was actually having a banister put in with metal rails. They were cutting up the rails outside on my pavers on my walkway. You wouldn't see anything, and then winter came and went, and we were left with a very bad rust stain on the pavers. And we don't know if we should use a pressure washer or a chemical something to take it off.
You definitely don't want to use a pressure washer because that could potentially destroy that paver. You could start with something easy. Now, most rust removers have some sort of a chemical. There's a lot of acid in it, so why not just start by pouring some lemon juice on those rusted surfaces? Because that's an acid. You want to let it sit and kind of work it in with a wire brush or a nylon brush. You can also try adding some vinegar to that lemon juice, and that works pretty well. And if those don't work out, then you could try a product like Iron Out. You know, a lot of people use it in the laundry to take iron stains out of clothing, but that could be a trick for outside as well.
Terrific. Thank you so very much.
Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. Well, between maintenance, upgrades, and that never-ending to-do list, managing your home can feel overwhelming. But now there's an app for that. It's called Home Zada, and it's like having a personal assistant for your house. With Home Zada, you can track your home's inventory for insurance or estate planning, schedule those maintenance reminders, manage renovation budgets, and even get a complete picture of your home's financial health, all in one powerful, easy-to-use platform. platform. And here's your chance to make home management stress-free. We're giving away a 1-year premium subscription to HomeZada. That's a $99 value. HomeZada's new homeowner AI takes the hassle out of organizing. It learns what's in your house. It tracks it automatically, and it keeps you one step ahead. Whether you're planning a big project or just trying to remember when it's time to change that HVAC filter, HomeZada keeps it all on track. Plus, you don't have to wait to win. You can save 20% on an annual premium or deluxe subscription right now with promo code MONEYPIT at HomeZada.com. That's HomeZada.com, the smarter, simpler way to manage your home and everything in it. But give us a call at 888-MONEYPIT for your chance to win. Well, as 2025 winds down, it's the perfect time to look ahead at what's trending for 2026 in the world of home improvement. From smart upgrades that boost value to projects focused on comfort and efficiency, the forecast for next year is shaping up to be all about smarter, more sustainable living. So let's start with the big trend, energy efficiency. Now, homeowners are expected to invest heavily in projects that reduce energy costs and carbon footprints. So think heat pump systems, solar panel installations, and upgrade insulation, especially in your attic and your basement. These not only will save on bills, but also qualify for valuable federal tax credits and rebates under the Inflation Reduction Act, making 2026 a great year to finally tackle those efficiency upgrades. Next up, kitchen refreshes do remain at the top of the list, but not full remodels. Many homeowners are opting for smaller scale makeovers that give big impact without a big price tag. Repainting cabinets, upgrading hardware, adding new lighting, and swapping outdated countertops for affordable quartz or recycled materials are some of the top mini makeovers that are trending this year. Bathrooms are also getting smarter. Expect to see more spa-inspired updates, walk-in showers with rainfall heads, touchless faucets, and anti-fog mirrors. Now, water-efficient fixtures are becoming standard too, helping homeowners save water without sacrificing style. Another big focus for 2026 are your outdoor living spaces that function year-round, from covered patios with built-in heaters to outdoor kitchens and waterproof seating. Homeowners want spaces that blur the line between indoors and out. And these projects not only expand usable square footage, but also boost resale value. And here's one that continues to grow: multifunctional home spaces. Whether it's a guest room that doubles as a home office, a gym tucked into a garage corner, or a finished basement designed for both movie nights and storage, flexibility is key. Now, builders and designers are responding with both furniture, storage, and layout options that seem to adapt as your family lifestyle does. And finally, homeowners are planning maintenance over makeovers. So a roof replacement, a window upgrade, siding improvements are trending again, but not flashy. They're going to add up to better comfort, storage resale, and fewer surprises when extreme weather hits. So whether your goal for 2026 is saving energy, adding style, or protecting your investment, now is the time to plan. Prioritize the projects that will make your home more functional, more efficient, and more enjoyable, not just for the next season, but for the long run.
We find Vecna, we end this once and for all, together.
On December 25th.
We have a plan. It's a bit insane. Everyone in?
He knows where we are.
Watch out!
Get ready for one last adventure.
We stay true to ourselves. Stay true to our friends, no matter the cost.
Found you. Stranger Things, Season 5, Volume 2 begins December 25th, only on Netflix.
Coca-Cola. For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists. For long-distance love. For introverts and extroverts. The thinkers and the doers. For old friends and new. Coca-Cola. For everyone. Pick up some Coca-Cola at a store near you.
You know, we've got a lot to cover always every hour here, but probably our favorite part is answering your emails. So, Jim, let's see who we've got standing by in the emails this hour.
I pulled out an email from John. He reached out to us and he says he's having an impossible job trying to find a stain to match a 50-year-old hardwood floor that was recently patched. He says, my floor contractor wants to resand the entire floor, but are there any other options?
I mean, he might be right, but let's talk it through first of all. When you have to insert new wood into an old floor, and we've had to do this a number of times, when you first do it, it really looks painful because it's just kind of like a stripe right now on your floor. But you're going to find that most floors are not stained, so this is natural wood. So you're going to find that if you give this floor a year, maybe a little bit more depending on how much light gets into the room, you might find that that wood will darken up on its own and start to blend in a little better with the old floor. Now, the home that we're in now, there was a very old floor furnace in the middle of that dining room, and that kind of made a big square hole that we had to patch. So you patch it properly, basically sort of alternate the rows of the old wood with the new wood so it looks almost like a finger joint that just kind of looks terrible at the beginning. But over time, you're going to find that color will yellow or sort of start to golden into what's going on there with the old and the new floor. But don't panic, because over time, it will blend a little bit on its own. Now, if you want to hurry it along, you can do a little bit there with some stain that will help those floorboards closer to the aged color of the existing floor. Now, for that, you could start by getting some extra wood, some extra floorboards, and choose a color stain that's close to it. And you can test it by just testing that extra wood until you find one that matches nicely to what's already there. And then you can mask off, just like you would with a painting project, those new floorboards and kind of stain them and finish them. And you'll even find that that will look a little bit closer, and you can expand that stain and sort of finish that area. Maybe it will start to look a little bit different, but you'll find that over time it will work out with the right stain just sort of fading in. It's a lot of work, but good luck with that project.
You know, floors like that, Leslie, they're gorgeous. And you say, yeah, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money. But, you know, are you buying your house to just sell it, or are you buying your house to live in it first? Take the time.
Yeah, you're buying your house, so take the time and just try to match that stain as best you can. And you will see that over time, it will sort of blend in more naturally. It is a lot of work, but I wouldn't go sort of taking all the stain off, because that's a huge project. You could do it and it'll do everything beautifully right off the bat, but it is going to be a bigger expense. So just kind of find out what can match best and kind of give it a try and see what happens. Worst case scenario, you take all the stain off and start over. But let's start just patching the area and working with the stain you have and see what's going to match. All right? Good luck with that project, John. I hope that helps you out. Well, that wraps up this hour of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. We've covered a lot, from tackling those tricky home updates and smart seasonal projects to helping John figure out how exactly to blend a new hardwood patch with a 50-year-old floor. Remember, every challenge in your house has a solution. It just takes the right approach, a little patience, and maybe a new tool or two. Until next time, I'm Leslie Segretti. Thanks so much for spending part of your weekend with us. Enjoy your projects, stay warm, and remember, you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone. See you next time on The Money Pit.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show.
Pick up the telephone,
fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
And Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.